Diane, unmute. You have to unmute yourself now.
Welcome, everybody. And I'm going to ask the other presenters today to please unmute themselves now so they don't do what I just did. Today is December the 9th, 2022. And I am Diane Farber, and we are there's somebody is unmuted, please, and I can hear a background noise here. So thank you. Please attend to that. And so today we are having our second presentation in a series of 3 of VirtualSOFA 2022. We have the express consent of VG Management LLC for the use of the SOFA name for this temporary digital presentation. Each of our VirtualSOFA programs features several galleries that have exhibited at SOFA in the past. The galleries will present glass art they would imagine exhibiting in Chicago before the cancellation of SOFA Chicago 2022. In honor of the 60th anniversary of American Studio Glass and the International Year of Glass 2022, AACG welcomes Blue Rain Gallery of Santa Fe, New Mexico, Habatat of Royal Oak, Michigan, Montague Gallery of San Francisco, California, and Traver Gallery of Seattle, Washington. I'm going to ask anybody who has any questions, have any comments, please put those in the chat and we'll get to those throughout. If we don't get to those, please stay online at the very end after all the presentations, and we will address those questions then. And first, I would like to welcome Denise Petitplace from Blue Rain Gallery, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Denise, can you please begin?
Thank you, Diane. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay, Diane?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. We actually have a video presentation prepared for you with our VirtualSOFA presentation. It will take up the majority of our time this morning, so I'd like to get started on that right away. I'll be available to answer any questions you might have at the end of the presentation. We have chosen to highlight works by Preston Singletary. Blue Rain Gallery has regularly exhibited at SOFA, officially known as Sculpture, Objects, Functional Art and Design shows, since 2007. Given this exciting opportunity to participate in a virtual SOFA experience hosted by the AACG for 2022, we have chosen to highlight works by Preston Singletary, Vivian Wang, Nathan Bennett, Aaron Currier, Sharon Meyer, and Alex Bernstein. Preston Singletary has been an unwavering feature of our SOFA presentations throughout our 15 years of participation. Singletary is best known for creating glass sculpture that is reflective of his native Tlingit heritage. Our display of Preston Singletary's work shows a cross-section of his designs. Starting at left and moving to the right, we are presented with 2 ravens. A deep red cast lead crystal sculpture that connects Norse mythology with Tlingit form. Ultimately, this totem tells the story of Singletary's family, his marriage to a woman from Sweden, their 2 children, and the family dog. Below the totem, we have displayed Singletary's straw yellow Tlingit basket, paired with a black and blue bottle form. The next set of sculptures we are presented with are Floating to the Sea and Blackfish Robe. Floating to the Sea is a near monochromatic piece that depicts a revered shaman figure taking his final journey in his canoe. The feathers he holds in his hands are for protection on his journey. Blackfish Robe stands tall in a striking combination of red, black, and clear glass. The sculpture tells the story of a Tlingit man named Ganakadet, who secretly wore a killer whale body to obtain fish and seafood for his starving family and clan members. Ganakadet's wife took credit for the success of Ganakadet's bounty and wished for larger quantities and larger catch. His wife's wishes proved to be too much for Ganakadet, and he died from exhaustion. His body was found washed upon the shore inside the carcass of a killer whale. Stories as this are at the core of Singletary's inspiration. The next grouping of sculptures by Singletary depicts a variety of forms and a mixed palette. Thematically keeping with the overarching narrative of his Tlingit heritage, we are presented again with a variation of the berry basket, a modernist interpretation of the salmon inspired by Brancusi, a shaman figure floating on a brilliant blue globe rattle, and a bear claw that depicts the sand-carved image of a raven. Vivian Wang, a gifted storyteller as well, presents us with exquisitely detailed figurative works in ceramic and glass that conjure the history and mystique of ancient China, Korea, and Japan. Known for her representations of court life figures, both accurate and symbolic, Wang ensures great detail in the robes and hairstyles of each figure. Each sculpture is painted softly with casein to give the impression of hand-dyed silk and bejeweled with a variety of precious and semi-precious stones. The cast glass heads, hands, and feet of Wang's sculptures contrast beautifully with the dressed ceramic bodies of her subjects. On display, we are presented with 4 sculptures by Vivian Wang, a few of which I will elaborate on. Shogun portrays the famous Japanese military leader Tokugawa Ieyasu, who lived from 1542 to 1616. Tokugawa Ieyasu was raised in the court of the neighboring Imagawa clan, where he was given the education of a nobleman. After his father's death when he was 25 years old, Tokugawa defeated the army of the last of his rivals at the decisive battle of Sekigahara. In 1603, he took the title of shogun, or military governor, becoming the supreme leader. Wang chose to depict Ieyasu as a young boy, exuding all the confidence of a soon-to-be leader. Dragon in Braids portrays a young lady of the Joseon dynasty of Korea during the 16th century. At that time, women of the upper class wore formal attire consisting of a chima, or skirt, and a jiagori, or jacket, as a staple of their wardrobe. Extravagant and large hairstyles were another important fashion statement of the period. Women wore wigs with yard-long fake braids wrapped around elaborate hair shapes, usually fake buns, as demonstrated on the young lady in Yang's sculpture. Though appearance and fashion were stressed for women during the Joseon dynasty, the greatest duty for women of this period was to provide a son for the family, symbolized by the dragon depicted on the jacket of the young woman. Lastly, I would like to acknowledge Vivian Wang's newest piece titled Phoenix and Dragon. It is rare that Wang creates multifigural pieces such as this. Phoenix and Dragon is an ancient Chinese term for fraternal twins, in which one is a girl, the phoenix, and one is a boy, the dragon. To have this combination is a sign of good fortune. The mother and her twins are members of the Sui dynasty in 6th century China. The fashion of the time included elaborate and bold hairstyles, as well as extravagant details on the clothing, replete with an abundance of gold fabric and gemstones. Erin Currier is a mixed media portrait artist working with acrylic and collage. She is compelled by the belief that our commonalities as human beings far outweigh our differences. Divisions are often either superficial or artificially created based on racial, economic, and national ideologies. Currier's mixed media paintings illuminate injustices, give voice to the disenfranchised, celebrate passionate and profound individuals that serve as inspiration to others, educate her viewers by building awareness, and everything in between. On display for SOFA, we are featuring 3 pieces by Erin Currier. The largest of the grouping, titled Las Hermanas Shevchenko, depicts 2 professional female mixed martial art and Muay Thai fighters. Antonina and her younger sister Valentina, both women, compete in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. At the time this painting was created, Valentina was the current flyweight champion of the world. The sisters were born in Kyrgyzstan, then part of the former Soviet Union, to a mother who was president of the Muay Thai Association and a two-time Muay Thai champion. From a young age, the girls practiced and competed in Muay Thai, Taekwondo, and kickboxing. At the age of 12, Valentina had knocked out and defeated her 22-year-old opponent, earning her the nickname Bullet. Antonina fought professionally as well, winning 39 out of 40 kickboxing and Muay Thai bouts between 2003 and 2017. Today, the two sisters live, teach, and hold citizenship in Peru, where they started an award-winning initiative that provides Muay Thai training to marginalized youth as an alternative to joining gangs. The two smaller paintings to the left are excellent examples of Currier's single-figure portraits. At the top, Currier depicts a world event from 2009 in which a young female journalist, Rozana El-Yami, was sentenced to 60 lashes by a Saudi Arabian court for her involvement with a controversial television show in which a Saudi man openly talked about his explicit sex life. This episode sparked serious controversy throughout the devoutly Muslim country. Saudi Arabia practices a strict form of Islam known as Wahhabism. Anything provocative or sex-related is strictly banned on Saudi television and media outlets. Rozana El-Yami was only 22 years old at the time of sentencing. She denied involvement in the particular episode in question, but was too frustrated to fight the sentencing. Fortunately, El-Yami was pardoned by the Saudi king just days before her scheduled flogging. Currier has depicted Rozana El-Yami as the Hindu or Buddhist Tara in her painting, giving her goddess status. She is undoubtedly embracing feminine beauty as evidenced with her red high heels, candy red lipstick, and perfectly painted eyes while still wrapped in a conservative attire. The last of Aaron Currier's paintings from the display is a celebratory piece in which the artist pays tribute to flamenco dancing as an art form. Currier was chosen 2 years in a row by the National Institute of Flamenco in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to create the poster image for their annual flamenco festival. Currier expresses that the beating, fiery heart of flamenco is that which she seeks to embody in all of her portraiture. Most significantly, the strength, fearlessness, and resilience of the human spirit. Currier references these elements using recycled materials in her collage. Alex Bernstein, a glass artist of the highest caliber, brings a clean, process-driven element to our display. Brilliantly colored cast glass sculptures with clarity of form speak to both the strength and delicate nature of the medium. A portion of the luminous glass surface in every sculpture is reserved for a reduction of material in which Bernstein uses carving wheels and hand tools to grind out material, creating contrast and texture. Some of his sculptures received the ultimate treatment in which he uses the aptly named Bernsteining technique to fuse steel to the surface of his pieces. Before us, we are presented with 3 examples of Bernstein's work, each unique in form and technique. Neo Ice is a lunar form that embraces a soft purple and ice-colored palette. This piece is beautifully balanced and speaks to the delicate nature of his work. The 3-pillar set to the lower right, titled Light Gold Triptych, is hard to resist in all its brilliance and luminosity. Evoking crystals from the earth, this sculpture has an aura. Light is its companion, and it ultimately invites the viewer to stand before it and absorb its radiance. The third and final example of Bernstein's work on display has an anchoring sculptural presence. Upon first impressions, one finds a well-chosen variety of glass frit or glass blocks suspended in the casting. The torqued fruit slice shape pairs with a seductive high-gloss surface of purple and green. The artist employed his signature Bernsteining technique, giving the sculpture a slight industrial feel. Our 2-dimensional offerings are completed by the alchemic patina paintings of Nathan Bennett. Bennett is a master of turning simple sheets of bronze into beautifully rendered works of art. Using a variety of acid-based elements, a paintbrush, and a blowtorch, Bennett deliberately applies patina to create brilliant scenes of nature, locomotives, wildlife, and the human figure. It took many years to refine his art form, but today we are presented with the success of his determination. From left to right, we see pieces he has titled Earth and Sky, A Little Different, and Changing Room. Each piece features a spotlit tree rendered in dark silhouette with shimmering gold leaves. The setting is magical, ephemeral, rife with mystery and intrigue. Bennett states trees are a symbol of us. Trees allow him to convey human emotion more clearly than any other symbol. We end our presentation with the extraordinary jewelry of Sharon Meyer. Meyer creates exceptional, one-of-a-kind wearable art using precious and semi-precious stones. Her couture line features 18-karat gold and platinum, while her designer line uses sterling silver. We are currently highlighting examples from the couture line, many of which Meyer refers to as vault pieces. Her pieces are at once bold and refined. Color and texture are key elements in her jewelry making, as are the unique clasps and closures she makes for many of her necklaces and bracelets. Taking a closer look at just a few examples from the display, one might notice how luxurious and varied these pieces are. For example, the carved Burmese jade, lemon quartz, and diamond couture necklace is fit for the neck of a queen. The combination of stones, contrasting textures, and perfectly wearable design make this necklace a standout. The gold, diamond, and frosted black onyx circles couture necklace is impeccable. Frosted black onyx set in 18-karat gold circles are accentuated by a few thoughtfully placed diamonds. Tiny peaks placed off-center add an unexpected contour to the otherwise simple geometric circles that form this necklace. This necklace has a retro vibe with a modern flair. Lastly, Meyer's gold diamonds and pearls lariat couture necklace evokes nostalgic elegance. Drapey feminine tassels of ivory pearls pair with larger round white cuts. Pave diamonds and 18-karat gold flowers join the two styles of pearl. This necklace was designed to be a lariat style, but it has enough length and versatility that it could easily be worn in other flattering ways. This concludes our virtual SOFA presentation. We wish to thank the AACG and SOFA for creating this opportunity.
And Denise, we want to thank you very much in Blue Rain Gallery for giving us our visual tour to Santa Fe today, and to your lovely gallery. Thank you so much for joining us. Please wait to the very end to see if people have any questions at that point.
I'll do that. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you. And then if you could mute yourself, and now I'm going to ask Aaron Shea from Habatat to unmute himself and to come join us for his
Sure.
presentation.
Happy to. Hi, everybody. I'm Aaron Shea here at Habatat Galleries. Hope you're all warm and safe this soon-to-be holiday season. I'll be taking over your screens in about 2 seconds here to start sharing our little presentation for SOFA. So first and foremost, let me clickety-click. Honored to be here. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, AACG, for doing this fun event. We have such good times in SOFA, and we're not together as we've been. We've been doing SOFA since it was founded and before. So, you know, many of you go back many, many years with us. So I'm going to go through a little housekeeping because I can. So we are planning our Glass Coast weekend down in Florida, in Sarasota, St. Petersburg. I'm working on the details now. You're all invited. It's going to be an amazing event. Lots of 4 exhibitions to see. We're partnering with the Ringling College and the Ringling Museum and the Imagine Museum. You've been to one of these events, plan on being there in February. More details soon. We have our glass cruise coming up in July of next year with Glass Habitat founder Ferdinand Hampson and my mother, Kathy Hampson. We'll be taking everybody on a cruise ship to Europe to visit galleries, institutions, studios. It's a must go on. I know many of you have been on these trips and you're planning on going again. Our international has been moved to June of next year because the GAS conference is coming here at the same time. So it's going to be the event to be at. So plan on being here. More details on that soon. It's going to be our 51st International. Currently in the gallery, we have exhibitions by Deanna Clayton and Stephanie Trenchard and Michael Behrens, which I'll go into more. You're welcome to come see those exhibitions, as well as a 30-year retrospective of artist Tomas Helvichka. And tonight, we have a holiday show for those who want to come and check out some great gifts for the holiday. My assistant, Regina, and Debbie Clayson will be here for that. It'll be a lot of fun. So we just had an auction, and there are available works that were unsold at auction now on habitatglass.com. Many of you have seen the auction. We have a new auction platform that helps save on the premium, so lots going on there. And then rounding it out, our NGG Not Grandma's Glass exhibition, which was a product of this pandemic, is ending in its second year and soon to be a third year. These are next year's participants. More details on that soon. So during SOFA, when it wasn't happening the first year, we created something called the Glass Art Fair. And I won't go into that too much because we did a whole Zoom with the AACG on that. So it's up, there's lots of artwork to see, and it would have been a lot of the artists that you would have seen in our exhibition in SOFA, but it's online. We add more work every day. So memories, we were at SOFA a lot. And so my hard drive goes back a couple years. So I took some fun photos of people and times that we shared together at SOFA. I'll kind of click through these, but we have great memories of being with everybody since, the foundation of SOFA and before. So, if anyone who wants some pictures from back in the day, let me know, because I have a ton of everybody having good times and going out to celebrate after SOFA. So all our friends and family are there. Many of you knew Laura. And then we had our ice cream social with AACG. It was a lot of fun to come and see that and participate and see everybody once again at SOFA. I mean, those of us who aren't here anymore, like Michael Glancy, it was a great experience to get a one-on-one with them. So we're kind of kicked through these photos of the fun times we had in Chicago. And there's Peter. Hey, Peter, good to see you. Lucy too. And so everybody, even people we don't show, it's great to see everybody there. So the SOFA experience kind of moved to Habitat. People couldn't go to SOFA. A lot of people came in out of the state to see the gallery. And I will also be covering Vivian Wang. We've been representing her since 2012. We have a variety of work available by Vivian in the gallery. I'll kind of kick through it. She also does commission work. So if you have an idea for a piece, we've done probably 40 commissions with her over the years. So she does an immaculate drawing of what you're looking for and creates it and gets approved before creating a piece. And it's a lot of fun to be part of her life. We have a Flemish rabbit piece, which portrays a young boy from the 1950s with his pet Flemish rabbit. The boy sports a patterned sweater vest and cardigan, hand knitted for him by his mother, and his bowl haircut, familiar from the 50s. Vivian spent 40 years in the design industry creating clothing, and every piece she creates has a kind of story and narrative of why they are wearing each piece. And these particular works are very fun with these animal works that sit next to the piece and sit on these beautiful flowers. This one is called Snub-Nosed Monkey. It portrays a Chinese boy with his pet animal that originally was bred in Asia. And the monkey is the 9th of the 12 animals in the Chinese zodiac, symbolizing cleverness, which is kind of fun. We did a Habitat Zoom talking about her and her work. Feel free to check that out. It's just very fun stuff. We have a third piece available called Trench Coat. And just goes into the details she puts into her work, and every piece is made unique. We've done well with her work. Elaborating on the show we have here, Michael Behrens. So we just opened a Drift, and we are announcing in this talk the catalog we just finished, which I'll paste in the chat later on, of the work that's available. The exhibition is incredible. We did a Zoom with him with a Q&A, so check that out and have it on YouTube or Habitat Zoom, talking about his career and work. But he is an in-demand artist, one of the best that we work with, a protege of Peter Bremer's, and has works I consider taken from the heart of the earth. These are such immaculate treasures, and we've had Michael at SOFA for years, so many of you are familiar with his amazing, and I put like 8 pictures in of these unique sculptures, but they have to be experienced in person. We can always send you videos, all that kind of fun stuff. And we have some works being sold out of his studio as well. But there's something for everybody here. Many of you have Michael's work. I have a piece of his work, but it's just spectacular stuff. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Look at that. Another treasure. This is big. This is 20 inches wide. It just really pushes the medium. So this is the catalog. You don't have to scan this with your phone, but I'll paste this little link in the bottom so you can check it out at your leisure. This catalog is available for the gallery. Continuing on, Lucy Line, we've displayed her work at SOFA for many years. She's one of the most talented figurative glass artists working today, and always seems to be pushing not only like color and scale, but she also incorporates multiple figures in her work. Sometimes it's an animal she's more onto now. She's incorporating texture as of late in her work and on the grounds. This is an immaculate piece that we have in the gallery and would have been at SOFA. Doppelganger. It's 58. It includes 58 inches tall, includes the pedestals. It is just brilliant. Another huge, brilliant piece. The dimensions are cut off the screen, of course, but this is probably 68 inches tall. Just a beautiful work by Lucy. She's really pushing the medium. We had new work in the Glass Art Fair. It sold. So if you're looking for one of her works or a commission, feel free to contact me anytime. I love this piece too. Willie Gruten's, we're going to be having a solo show for Wilfred in our Glass Coast weekend, so look forward to that. It's going to incorporate both of his works. He's mostly well known for his painting of plates of glass that are laminated together in a very meticulous way. And you can kind of see that in the sculptures we have available, like this particular one. These are about 11 or 8 by 8 by 8 inches, something like that, both of them, just immaculate work. And when you walk around these things, they have to be seen in person to get the idea of how each layer is hand painted and glued together. And he makes larger scale pieces too, in the same kind of style. Then he started dabbling in painting flat works, and these are done in a totally different way. There are multiple panels that are much larger. It's kind of like a watercolor where the colors kind of put on the glass and spun, and then they're laminated together and they mount on the wall. They're absolutely stunning. We've been selling them they've been very, very popular. They've been very, very popular. Here's a couple for you to see as we kick through Wilfred's work. And they're on display here at the gallery. And we'll have them down in Florida if you come visit us. Demetria and Dean, you guys are big fans of theirs. We have their work available. We are big fans of theirs, and they're inspired heavily by nature. And we have two bodies of work. The first being their collaborative work, which is installations on walls. They are just beautiful. And you really use your imagination to understand the amount of space that these works absolutely take up. And we just sold a piece of their work that ended up going to, I believe, let me get it right before I mess it up again, Diane. It sold to Taiwan. Yes, it sold to Taiwan. So all over the world. She's been posting these on social media too, so check out them on there to see what they're up to. But incredible pieces that are just brilliant. Yeah, another one we have installed in the gallery as well. And then Demetria's solo work, where she's playing around with this material, creating these beautiful sculptures. She describes them obviously as lamp work, and she really adds these beautiful stones that tie the work together. And there's a few pieces that we have in the gallery as well as in the virtual exhibition available for sale. And she posted a video up online of her tossing one up in the air and catching it. Tossing it up in the air and catching it. So I'll let her do that, but they are just incredible. Incredible works, all flame worked and have a beautiful presence. They're actually quite breathtaking. Our old friend, Martin Blank, I've been working with him a lot lately. Many of you are familiar with his work. I'll kick into him. He gave me something to say. For Martin Blank, art is about translating emotions into three-dimensional objects. For both works are coming from his Adorn series. Martin uses a figurative work to place yourself in a scene. Like the wing victory piece here, the wings symbol inspiration and almost protect and cover the figures. Look at that incredible detail. He's just the man. And Demeter is the goddess of agriculture and is a symbol of well-being. We did a Habitat Zoom with Martin too. So make sure you have a chance to check that out and have a little dialogue if you weren't there to see it. Beautiful, beautiful work. Just shows his talent and scale, 33 inches tall. These incredible hands by Martin. Just simply beautiful. And we have a bronze piece, a different body of work entirely, but on display at the gallery, 92 inches tall. Just shows his overall talent. Our soccer friend today, Peter Bremers, is here joining us, and we're representing him usually at SOFA. I wrote something fun about him. Sharing Peter's work at our SOFA exhibition is always one of the highlights of our exhibitions. We're grateful to have him not only in our Habitat family, but he really is a gift to our medium. Besides being a wonderful person alone, he is one of the most talented people pushing the medium and creating in such impressive ways. So grateful to have you, Peter, at our show. And you help out other artists, you help us out. We have dialogues all the time. It is an amazing opportunity to work with you and know you. And we'll have Peter's work down in Florida as well. And there's a few pieces I wanted to show off. His work is inspired by his world travels. And it's just impressive to see in person. Multiple giant scales too. It's something for everybody. You can go outdoors. Peter's incredible. And then we're wrapping up with our friend Steve Lynn, who is an American who lives in France. He creates work in homage to people and ideas that he looked up to. And this particular work is the Tanebi family of bamboo artists who've been working since the late 19th century. And it's called Chinka Onsoi, which means bamboo cloud. And the current generation is the fourth generation, which is the bigger piece in this installation. And it represents their era of creating and still creating to this today. They make bamboo pieces up to room size. And Steve talked during the glass art fair talk about it. It was quite eye-opening. Here's some detailed shots. And then another piece that Steve created by Ouija, who was a crime scene photographer from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. He was a photographer who developed the film in his car so he could provide the tabloids, the photos, the fastest. It's so interesting to see what catches his eye and what he creates. And a couple of more of his pieces that we have up in the gallery that Steve has talked about, but feel free to contact me, I'll tell you more. But thank you everybody today for joining us. Thank you, our AACG, and thank you, Sophie, for letting us be part of this today.
Aaron, we want to thank you for a wonderful walkthrough of some of the highlights of your show. And many of us are very familiar with Habatat, and we look forward to seeing you in Florida. So thank you. Next, I would like Donnie Montague to unmute herself, and I would like her to do our next presentation from the Montague Gallery in San Francisco, California. Are you there, Donnie?
I am here. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Okay. Well, and can you see the presentation? Can you see that, Diane?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can use that as a prop open from
Who's
there.
here?
Yeah.
We've had some internet issues here today. And so I want to make sure that you're able to see the presentation. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. It's a real pleasure. Montague Gallery for 6 years, and we
Okay, Donnie, we're having problems. Donnie? Donnie, I don't hear you.
There we go.
okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Thank
All
you.
right, I'm hoping we can get through this. Something is very wrong with our internet here. So we opened 6 years ago, and that means that 3 of those years, half of those years, have been spent in the pandemic. So we're certainly thrilled to still be here and grateful to be here. And we hope that when you're in San Francisco, you will come and visit us. So that's what we look like today. And I'm really pleased to present the work of 5 artists to you today. The first one is Evan Kolker. Evan is a local artist based in Oakland, California. He is best known for his sculpture series depicting various species of nepenthes or pitcher plants. And you may be familiar with these plants. They're carnivorous. They're strange and quite provocative. And Evan brings our attention to these plants in a hyper-realistic way that conveys why the plants are so mesmerizing and wonderful. Before we get into his nepenthes series, though, I want to show a piece that is another fascinating plant that he created. This is based on a pelican flower, and the bloom of this piece is actually about 10 inches in diameter, which is consistent with its size in real life. Yeah, notice that Evan uses both glass and metal. He incorporates both of those media in all of his work. I'm going to show you a couple of samples of earlier work so you get a better idea of his body of work. This is a pitcher plant sculpture. And this amazing one is a wall-mounted piece. And here is a great detail shot where you can see amazing texture. This piece is called Apparition, and Evan has used clear glass and grays to really convey the ghostly effect that you see. And trapped inside that trap, you can't see it very well, and I have a video, I'm not gonna run it, is mammal bones, actually. Okay. And as you can see, he often incorporates delightful surprises such as this butterfly into his work. This is another species of Nepenthes plant. It's black. The trap is black, and the leaves are beautiful green. You can see how he pounds out the metal to get those leaves. It's quite time consuming for him to create these pieces. It'll take a few hours for him to blow the picture itself, and then it could take over 100 hours for him to forge and fabricate the metal. And finally, this is his newest series, and this is actually the only pitcher plant that grows in the state of California. It grows on the Northern California and Southern Oregon border. And the insects crawl inside, and they think they can get out because it looks like there's windows, but it's not, they're trapped. And I wanted to show you a picture of an actual plant here in California, a cobra lily, to show you how realistic his work really is. Next, I'm pleased to tell you about another local San Francisco artist, David Patchen, who is based here in San Francisco. And he's here with us today. Hi, David. He has an interesting story. About 20 years ago, he was a marketing professional in the tech world, and he went to a glass blowing class in 2001, and this completely changed the course of his life, igniting a passion for glass. He made a big life decision to leave his job in the corporate world in order to pursue the passion. So you can see David's love for cane work and marine in his sculptures. He layers these elements and creates intricate patterns and color combinations. David also loves the way glass interacts with light, and key influences for him are textiles, patterns in nature, and marine environments. And that's just a beautiful detail shot. I think this piece is absolutely gorgeous. The color, the layered swirled pattern, just beautiful. And once again, a detailed shot. Every once in a while, David tones down his color. For instance, with this monochrome ellipse piece. And another beautiful detail shot. I am going to skip through this video. Let me just, yeah, it's not going. So there were 3 pieces. You can see 2 of them on this picture. And David uses phosphorescent glass as well as fluorescent glass to highlight when UV lights are shined on it, the piece will actually glow. The phosphorescent glass actually absorbs sunlight and glows that way as well. So here is a piece we saw earlier, and that's what it looks like when it's glowing. Isn't that beautiful? And now I'm pleased to share work by Aya Oki. Aya is from Japan. She moved to the US after earning her undergraduate and master's degrees in glass in Japan. And then she completed her MFA at Rochester Institute of Technology. This picture was taken at Penland School of Craft in October in North Carolina. Aya was there teaching a glass blowing class. I happened to be in North Carolina, and so I got to see her. That was really great. She's based in Southern California and teaches at Cal State San Bernardino. She also travels constantly. She's finally going home next week after 3 months on the road. And so I have a couple of examples of her work. She loves the puffy, squishy, stretchy consistency of glass and endeavors to show these traits in her work. And she also really taps into her process of breathing, which she utilizes as a creative force. And here's another beautiful piece of hers. You can see how she's utilizing color and cane work here. I'm going to once again skip a video that we had. One of the things that's fun about Aya's work is when you think about looking at glass, you can look at it, you can look in it, and you can look through it. And I think you, in looking and contemplating her work, you can really see the differences when you think about it that way. And next, it's my pleasure to introduce Jason Christian. Jason says he loves everything about glass. He says, it's glass, it breaks, it's molten, it moves, I love it. So Jason is a native of Seattle, and so he was in the perfect place to explore his love affair with the medium. He is an extremely skilled glass blower, and his technical abilities shine through in his creations. He has worked with a variety of well-known artists, and including Martin Blank, Preston Singletary, James Mongrain, and Nancy Callan. He's also been an integral member of Dale Chihuly's Boathouse team for over a decade. Jason is also with us. So Jason, hello, and thank you so much. You may know Jason from his dragon sculptures. He has always had a fascination with dragons. He was born in the year of the dragon, and because of the fluid nature of the dragon form and the fluid form of glass, he felt like dragons would translate well to glass. And he loves making them. He has a lot of fun making them. This is a beautiful rondelle that Jason created, and there's a reticello pattern in the middle, and then there's, I love that phenomenal shadow on the back wall from this piece. And here is a close-up of the beautiful reticello in the center. Now we might be able, there's a little video here that maybe will work. This is one of Jason's newest creations. It's a different look for him, and there's, you know, certainly, as you can see, there's intricate Marini patterns here and wild colors. He created this piece over the pandemic, and during that time, his first child, a son, was also born. So with a nod to the future, he titled this piece Phoenix Rising. Let me see if we can, there we go, see a little bit more of it. And lastly, I want to show you his yo-yo series. He's been developing this for the past few years. And initially, these were fun, simple forms, which gave him a canvas to play with in terms of form, color, pattern, and optical refraction. Over time, his understanding of the form became objects expressing feeling of harmony, duality, levity, and relationship. So these, as you can see, these pieces range in size. I have two that look just the same, and so they pair very well together, but they're also available individually. And then finally, with the yo-yos, Jason has also created a ceiling installation with the yo-yos. And you can see that there's wonderful movement and whimsy. And I think it's really exciting to see what he's doing here with this work. And now I want to introduce the incomparable Monica Gugusberg and Philip Baldwin, and I believe that they are also on. So hello. I know many of you are very familiar with their work. Philip is American and Monica is Swiss, and they met in Sweden, where they both came to work in glass. And that was 40 years ago, and they've been joined at the hip ever since. And they're just amazing in how they've lived their life. They had a studio in Paris for many years, and now they're living in Wales. As many of you know, their aesthetic is, they have a signature for sure, and they've really combined Swedish glass techniques with Venetian cold working and come together with marvelous work. The first series I'm going to show you is a new series that they've been working on in the past few years called Species Novae. And this series is really about finding balance between society and individuals, as well as strength as a group. They're using the Venetian incalmo technique, where glass on two bubbles of two different colors is put together. And then of course they're using the gorgeous Venetian battuto carving techniques. Next is their boats. So this is just a phenomenal piece. They've been working with the theme of boats. It's been a strong theme for them for a long time, and it's about journey, and it's about the fact that we as human beings are migratory creatures. And then this piece is one of their frames. So this is a wall-mounted piece. Philip and Monica often use geometric symbols in their work. What you can't see in this photo is that each one of these pieces is carved separately. So there's a different design on all of the pieces. And also what's fun about these frames is you get shadows on the wall, which once again, we're not seeing in this these photos. This is a phenomenal frame with this incredible green and yellow, and these pieces of the amphoras tucked one into another. It's lovely. And then let me see if I can get this one to go. So this is a light box that is another new series for them, the Library of Red and Orange, and you can certainly see why it's called that. But this piece is so lovely and so engaging. And one thing that doesn't come through on the video is that you can dim the lights with this. And so there's a different mood that's created based on how bright or dim the piece is. And it looks phenomenal, you know, kind of all the way through the spectrum of how it is lit. So I also wanted to tell you real quickly, I was in France just a few weeks ago, and coincidentally, Monica and Philip had a museum exhibition in the Normandy region, and I had the pleasure, the great pleasure of getting to see it before it closed. It's called Amphor Metaphor. And what this show was really about is focusing on the the ancient jars, the amphora, those ancient jars with the long necks. And amphors have also been a theme of theirs for a long time, but they never explored it to the level that they did in this exhibition. They even had an aquarium there, so they were looking at amphors in different ways. So this obviously was an example of amphors on the ocean floor. And there's some here with political commentary, with gun violence in the United States, with the Ukrainian war. And these are two-dimensional amphors that they created from broken glass that they had saved that, you know, came about through their everyday work. Glass breaks, so they repurposed it and they created these two-dimensional amphors. This piece I just thought was so phenomenal and wanted to show it in terms of again, a great example of their carving techniques. And it looks ancient in the way that it's carved, and it's just beautiful. I'm pleased to tell you that we're going to have an exhibition with Baldwin Guggisberg in March. And so we hope that you'll come and if not in person, online. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate being with you all today. It's a real pleasure.
Donnie, thank you so much. I know that it's been a real technological challenge, and we really appreciate all the time and the work you put into give us a lovely presentation. And now I would like to introduce Sarah Traver from Traver Gallery, Seattle, Washington. Sarah, will you please unmute yourself and join us for your presentation? Thank you.
Thanks, Diane. Thanks everyone for being here today and sticking with us through technical issues. There's never a day on Zoom without them. So appreciate your patience. We're actually going to do something a little bit different. We're going to give you a live tour of what is in the gallery currently, some really wonderful exhibitions that we have up, and highlighting a few pieces by artists that we would have brought to SOFA. I'm going to ask, let's see if I can do it myself. I'm going to spotlight this video. Hopefully you can see that. So here we are in the gallery. Not surprisingly, it is a gray December day here in Seattle, but so not incredible, beautiful sunlight today, but still a wonderful way to see some incredible Chihuly works. This is a selection of works that we presented in October as a kind of a major exhibition. And these are pieces that we held on to for the winter months as well. Here you see an example of one of Dale's Rotolo pieces. This is a recent piece, actually entirely made hot on a blowpipe. Dale's team with Jim Mongrain as primary gaffer does this work. But this piece weighs about 90 pounds, if you can believe it. So amazing, amazing feat in glass, all done hot, really special, spectacular work. I love how it references the coils of Dale's earlier Venetian pieces, but has a really contemporary, fresh take. And then if you see it behind there, there's a beautiful basket piece, a recent basket piece done in this very beautiful red color. It's actually a special color that Dale acquired that it actually, in some cases, and not in this particular case, but in some cases, reduces and gets this beautiful opalescent quality to it. But here you see an example of, you know, Flora and Joey, of course, contributing to doing the beautiful pattern work, giving the reference to the traditional Native American baskets that Dale was originally inspired by. And then Deb, if you want to take a spin around, maybe let's take a look at that sage green basket there. Here again, a beautiful recent example of the basket works that Dale has been doing, referencing some of the earlier pieces, but you can see scale-wise, this is just an impressive piece. It's the color that you see here on the screen is a little whiter than it is in reality. It's quite a beautiful, soft sage color. Really, really elegant piece. Again, You know, I think what I love about these works of Dale's is how the lines are so referential of the drawings that Dale does, almost as though somebody's taken a Sharpie or a pencil and drawn around the edge of that lip to create that loose gestural quality, something that's so unique to the glass as well, and something that Dale, I think, has really stewarded in terms of glass in general, really helping artists to see what glass does so magically. Behind there, you see an incredible quad drawing of Dale's of four pieces of paper that he has laid out on the floor and then painted on. Really rich use of color here. Beautiful bright orange, magenta, various greens and blues. And this is a large piece. The dimensions on this one are actually 84 inches high, 60 inches wide. So really quite a large piece, but a beautiful example of Dale's original drawings. And then as we kind of turn to the right here, you'll see a beautiful display of the tobacco basket and a couple of the burned black drawings. The drawings here that you can see he's actually, he's used a blowtorch on the paper here to create a really interesting textural effect, both where the burn marks are, but also in the paint itself. It gets kind of a bubbly effect where the torch has touched the paint. So it really comes off the paper in an interesting way and relates really beautifully to the charcoal drawing beneath it. So two examples of those. Here you see he's also used his handful of colored pencils, as Dale famously does, grabs about 20 pencils in a hand and scribbles to create that really beautiful effect of almost like woven or textile. And I'm not sure if everybody's aware of this, but there is a new documentary about Dale that will be airing on the Smithsonian Channel on Sunday. So be sure to mark your calendars for that. That's going to be a really incredible documentary feature about Dale and his incredible career. And I think we'll walk up to the front of the gallery now, and you'll get a glimpse of our current exhibition, Works by Scott Fife. These are, of course, not glass works. These are works in cardboard, large scale. And Deb will show us some of the featured works that we have here by John Kiley, Dante Marioni, and Heike Brocklau. These are works from recent exhibitions. We'll start with Dante here. On the left, you see one of his maze pieces. These are works that he does using cane glass that is fused together and then cut apart into, the best way I can describe it is like Marini plates. So he first fuses the canes together and then he cuts them apart into irregular forms and then fuses those together and blows out this piece. So what happens here is you get these patterns that are slightly different on the front of the piece and the back of the piece. Because it's flattened, it actually, the interface between those two layers creates an incredible optical effect. Really painterly, really contemporary, and something I've never seen anybody else do. Of course, Dante would be the one to discover that technique. To the right of this ruby maze, we have one of the print pieces. So same basic idea here. And you can see that optical effect as Deb moves from left to right around the piece. It's that moire effect, really incredible. And Dante, when he talks about these pieces, really shares that he thinks of these less about the vessel form and more about the vessel being a canvas for the pattern that he's able to create. To the right, we have an incredible piece by John Kiley. This is from the exhibition that he did with us last month alongside Dale Chihuly. This particular piece is titled Pointed Crosscut, and it is 3 colors of glass, 2 bubbles that are joined together in the sort of encalmo technique. But of course, you know, John being John, everything is spectacularly pristine, not a bubble captured in between. And the use of color is extraordinary. Though he's using just 3 colors of glass, you of course see many, many different colors as the light changes, as your perspective changes. These are blown and cold worked pieces. So when they're blown, of course, they're a large spherical form that he then takes back to the studio and cuts back into to reveal that inner membrane and to create those really dynamic, balanced shapes. I'd encourage you all to take a look on our website. We have an incredible video page with walkthroughs of exhibitions with the artists themselves. John gave an incredible talk about this work and his relationship to Dale Chihuly, how Chihuly acted as a mentor for him, and how he really taught him to think about glass in a really unique way. Again, that's on our website, and I'll be sure to drop that into the chat when we're done here.
Actually, we have in the chat the websites of all the galleries, Sarah, so thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Diane. I'll try and add a direct link to that talk.
Okay, thank you.
And then here we have a really beautiful piece by Heike Brocklau. Heike is a German artist whose work I'm sure most of you are familiar with. She's living in the UK now, and she does these incredible cast pieces that really are a formal exploration of color, form, and light, and how those things interact with each other. So this piece, if we look from the side, you can kind of see is thick and broad at the edge here, and then as you go towards the middle, it gets increasingly thin. And so the way that the color responds to that sort of density of form is just spectacular. She also does something really interesting here where she has one side of the piece at a high polish, and the other side is this sort of matte surface. And so it holds the light in a really spectacular way. Again, very dynamic work. And like John, really thinking about balance and these sort of formal qualities that glass can offer. And then we'll take a walk into our interior gallery space where we have a beautiful exhibition by Swedish artist Anne Wallström. Anne has been working in glass since early in her career in the 70s. And she actually was a very early participant at Pilchuck. She came to Pilchuck in the late 70s. She also studied with Dale at the Rhode Island School of Design. And she worked for many years as a designer for Kosta Boda in Sweden. This particular installation and most of Anne's recent work has been largely inspired by natural forms and forms seen through water, allowing the glass to create this incredible surface like water when you look through, where things get abstracted, loose, tenderly. I really love how she used color in this installation and thinking about how these forms relate to one another and how the patterns relate to one another to create this really beautiful large-scale installation of works. So you can see she's chosen a very restricted color palette and using repeating patterns. Very beautiful work. Anne works from drawings as a primary source. So you can see on the wall in the back there, there's a series of drawings pinned up. This is how she does her original sketches. And then she will take those sketches into the hot shop and work with a team of artists. This particular body of work was made entirely at the Tacoma Glass Museum. So working with the team there to create the Marini, to create the forms, and to bring this body of work to life. So I'll be sure as we end here to drop links into the chat. And I'm also happy to answer any questions that anybody has. I think we've gone a little bit over time, so I want to be respectful of everybody's afternoons and game time plans, but really hope to hear from any of you with questions and delighted to be here. Thanks, Diane, for the invitation, and hope to see everybody in person sometime soon.
Right. Thank you, Sarah. We all hope to see each other at some point in time soon too. And we loved your walkthrough. I'm sorry I didn't get any steps though on my pedometer, but I love the walkthrough anyway. So very interesting artist. Thank you today. And I want to thank all of the artists who have spent time and a lot of effort in putting these videos together for us so that we can get some semblance of new collections that are out there that we can talk about and add to our own collections. Again, in the chat is the name of each of the galleries, their phone numbers, and a website so that you can contact them. And I wanted to say that we have 2 more very exciting events happening. We're having the 3rd part of our 3-series segment on the VirtualSOFA2022, and that's next Friday, December the 16th at 1 p.m. And then AACG and our leader, Dimitra Theophanis, is going to have our Fired Up event, which is December the 20th at 2 p.m. And we're very excited to feature Karen Lamont on that date. I want to thank so many of you for coming out, and we appreciate the support of these events. And we notice that many more people come out than are members of our AACG. And with passion, I would like to ask you to consider joining us. We are a group of people who support the development and appreciation of the art of glass, as you do, because you're on here. And I am very excited that we continue to reach out and have these Friday meetups. And if you're an AACG member, you can be on the meetups every Friday. Could somebody please unpin Sarah so that we can get back to seeing the rest of us? I can't do that from here. Thank you very much. And so I will put the contemptglass.org contact information, and I have a bunch of questions here. So let me see, or comments. We appreciate all of your comments. We love to do these. So we're happy that you like our presentation, but it's really the galleries and the gallery owners who are giving us this wonderful view. And yes, you can view this again because it will be shown on YouTube AACG channel a few hours after we close today. So you can go through the whole thing and you can feel like you're back at SOFA even one more time. So thank you, Linda Green, for putting in the www.contemptglass.org website. We hope to see many of you, not only on here, but we hope to see you on one of the benefits of the AACG organization. We have wonderful member trips. So come on all, let's get in. Thanks a lot. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And Aaron Shay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Diane.
Happy to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Yeah, go on everybody's website.